In this video, we're going to cover how to blind hem a pant. We have two examples here on the table of pants that need to be blind hemmed. One is when the garment comes in and has already been blind hemmed by someone, but needs to be re-hemmed. We'll need to let that hem down. In the other case, a pant is brand new and has a serged or raw edge that can just be cut and blind hemmed or finished for the first time. So we're going to take a look at that procedure. Let's get started. So how we have this garment pinned from the fitting is it's just been pinned in place. So it hasn't necessarily been pinned at the place that we're going to hem it. See how that doesn't sit straight? It's just been pinned on the person so that it sits flat. So when we're setting it out and looking at how it needs to be cut, we're going to lay it out on our grid until it lays flat like it would have when it was sitting on the person. So our pin is just holding this crease in place. And that fold, where it folds up, that's where we're actually going to finish the hem. So we're going to take our chalk and make a mark once we've got it all straightened out. Got the edge straightened against one line and the top folded up and even on our grid on the top. So we're going to press this down and make our chalk mark right on the folded edge. That's where our new hem needs to end. Now let's look at where we're going to cut it. We're safe to take out the pin now. Fold that down and flip it inside out. Okay, we've flipped the garment inside out. We're lining up the raw edge on one of the straight lines on our grid so that we know that both of the pants are even. This way we can cut both legs exactly the same as long as we know that they're lined up. This is our new hem line. So we need to mark out our seam allowance next to be able to cut. We're going to use this ruler. This is one of my favorite rulers. It's 2 inches wide. Our standard seam allowance on all blind hem pants is always 2 inches. So we're going to use this ruler, lining up the red line of the table with the ruler, and on the other side, the red line of the table with the same line on that ruler. That way we know. And we've got our hem chalk line right here at the edge. So we're just going to come on the other side and mark 2 inches down. Now, we only marked the hem line on one pant leg, so we're going to match it over on this leg. Now, as you can see, we've got our hem line and our cutting line 2 inches apart from each other. And we've got everything lined up on the edge. Now we are ready to cut. I'm going to put down our cutting ruler, make sure everything's lined up, and cut straight across. Now, save these scraps. We love to use these for testing out the machines and making sure that our settings are right later. So keep those off to the side. Now, we're ready to serge this edge and finish it up. Okay, so we've got our cut pair of pants over here at the serger. We're going to refinish this edge before we press it up and blind hem it. Now, because this is a complete circle, we'll have to run on and run off. Let me show you what I mean by that. We're going to start by lifting the presser foot and placing one of our seams, either inseam or outseam, at the beginning. And we're just going to start. I'll show you what that looks like. As we come around, you can see that the threads just appear on. And what we're going to do is go all the way around the cuff and then run back off over top so that we have as little thread overlap as possible while looking clean and securing the threads. So we're just going to continuously readjust as we go around the circle of the pant hem. We want to make sure that our seam allowances stay flat. so we'll readjust as necessary. Remember to always take your foot off the pedal when you are adjusting or moving so that you don't accidentally turn the machine on while the presser foot is up. And we're just barely trimming. We're trying not to trim at all other than the frayed edge. And now as we come back around to the start, we're going to cover that tail. And as soon as we've gotten it cut off, we'll pull the fabric off to the side. See how we just pulled it right off so you can barely tell where you stopped and started? Then we'll trim. And now this clean edge is ready to be folded up and blind hemmed. All right, here we are at the blind hemmer for our final step. As you remember, we measured 2 inches for the seam allowance, so we've pressed up 2 inches instead of pinning it in place. So now we're going to use our new crease, which is going to be our new hemline, as our guide as we sew. Leaving out the pins allows us to be flexible as we move through the blind hemmer. Let's begin on either seam, inseam or outseam, and we're going to start slow and readjust frequently. Remember, we've got our 2 fingers in here, guiding but not pulling the fabric. We just want to guide it in place. And as a reminder, we're shooting to get the edge of the fabric here in this metal channel. Let's get started. See, as we move slowly, we can watch that needle picking up the edge of the fabric right in there in the channel. Move slow and stop often. All right, we're already back almost around to the start. Once we've crossed over the beginning, we're going to move the hand wheel and get that needle just about before it reaches the arm. Then release the pressure in our knee bar and gently tug and pull the threads. Now, let's trim our little bit of extra thread and see how we did. We're going to gently move around the edge using our thumb to pull and see if we missed any spots. There, we did. We're going to go back over in just a minute and fix that spot. But all of this side looks great. And then we also want to take a look on the correct side of the garment and make sure that we didn't pick up too much. Perfect. Very barely imperceptible. So let's go back over that one spot that we missed. It's okay if it's not continuous. That's not a problem. Lining up that fabric right in that channel again and guiding with our fingers. Beautiful. And again, using the hand wheel, turning the hand wheel away from us until the needle is just about to intersect with the arm. Release the pressure and tug. Perfect. There we are. Now we're ready to turn the pant inside out. And everything looks great. We'll give the pant one more press so that we can see the final product. So as you can see, we've finished up our blind hem. We've given our pant a final press, and it's looking beautiful. Ready to go back to our happy customer.